So here's an introduction to uh, triads and seventh chords. Triads like tricycle, um, triband all imply the number 3. So you have 3 notes usually stacked on top of each other are being in close relation. From the bottom note to the middle note is always going to be a third of some sort. From the middle note to the top note is always going to be a third of some sort. And from the bottom note to the top note is always going to be a fifth of some sort. And it works with the letters, the same thing we did in chapter 1 when we first began to study intervals. Let's follow the same rules. You'll have C, and then you skip D, E, you skip F, G. So C, E, G is the letters you're going to use for a triad that starts on the C something, whether it's C sharp or C flat. So let's start talking about the major triad. A major triad always have you got the 3 notes. The bottom 2 intervals are always going to be a major third, and the top interval between the top two notes are always going to be a minor third. So let's look at this on the keyboard. Start with C. You got middle C, and we're looking for a triad, so we're looking for a C, E, G something. The bottom interval has to be a major third, and if you remember from the first chapter, that is 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the top interval has to be a minor third. There's 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. And so you get C, E, G right there. Another way to find major triads more quickly and easily is to already be familiar with your major scale that we also did in chapter 1 and use that knowledge. So we know that our major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and we're going to go for the first, the root, the third, and the fifth of that scale. The root, the third, the fifth, and that's the easiest way I think to get a major triad. Sorry about that. A major triad. So if we're going to look at E flat major triad, E flat is right here. We would want to find the major third from E flat, which is G, that's 4 half steps, and then you want to go up a minor third. That's B flat. The easiest way again is to, if you already know, have it in your mind or memorized or in your regular vocabulary. E flat has 3 flats, and you gotta have a E. Start from the bottom. You have to have a E, G, B something. You have an E flat here. You have a B flat here. And that's your triad, E flat, G, B flat. To me, that is the easiest way to do that. All right, let's look at one more major triad, but this time on a staff. We're going to do A flat this time. So you got to have A, C, E something. Notice this root position triad are on all spaces. You think of what flats are in A flat major. You have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. And you simply go back and mark flats beside the notes that happen to be in this triad. You have A flat and E flat. And you mark them like so. If you were to do a triad, say G flat major triad, G flat will start on a G, and they're really easy to see because now it's going to follow all the lines up. And you think of the flats you have in G flat major. You have G flat, no, I'm sorry, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. So you just go one past G flat, and it's pretty easy. And then you mark the flats you have, which happens to be all of them. There's the G flat, there's the B flat, and there's the D flat. And you put the flats beside them. That's how you would draw that flat on the staff. Of course, if you had this key signature here, you would not have to put the flats next to each note because the key signature already notates the accidental on every note, unless otherwise notated. We talked about major triads, where the interval between the bottom two notes are a major third, and interval between the top two notes are a minor third. Now we're going to talk about minor triads, where the interval between the bottom two notes are a minor third, small m, 3, and the interval between the top two notes are a major third. So it's just reverse. A major triad, because the interval on the bottom is going to be major. Major on the bottom, minor on the top. Minor third, because minor on the bottom, major on the top. The same rules with the keyboard. When you're going to work with the keyboard on these triads. So we'll start with the key of C, a C minor triad. So you have C, you go up a minor third, 1, 2, 3. Then you go up a major third, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have a C minor triad. Another easy way to look at this is just take the major triad, which would be C, E, G, and then do whatever you need to do to this middle pitch to lower it 1/2 step. So it would become C, E flat. You just lower it down. And that makes that major triad now minor. So let's do the key of C flat with that in mind. So C flat would have every note flat. C flat has all the flats, C sharp has all the sharps, and C natural, just regular C, has no sharps or flats. And if you want to lower that middle pitch down 1/2 step, you would put a double flat on it. So the key of C flat looks like this. Of course, because you have C flat, E flat, and G flat. And if you want to lower this down to here, you will get C minor, C flat minor, which would be these pitches: C flat, E double flat, G flat. All right, let's take a look at it on the staff. So let's look at B flat minor. First, we'll use our knowledge of key signatures first. So B flat minor could go here, B, and you gotta have a D something, got a F. Obviously, B is going to be flat because it is the root. And in B flat key signature, you have B flat and E flat. So this is our B flat major triad here because there's no E flat or E in that triad. How can we make a major triad minor? Is we just lower the middle note. So now that's a D flat, and that's our minor triad. B flat, D flat, then F. Now we can do the same thing using our knowledge of intervals. If you prefer those, let's say E major. You have an E here. You go up a major third, or you go up a minor third. Let's look for E minor triad. We're doing the minors now. E minor triad. You got to have E, G, B something. A minor third from E happens to be G. A minor third from G is B. If we were to do a B minor triad. Here's B, D, F. A minor third from B is D, and a major third from D is F sharp. And that's how we would do that. And that is how we do minors. Let's move on to diminished triads. Just a quick review before we get into diminished triads. We've done major triads where the bottom interval is major third, the top interval is minor third. We've done minor triads where the bottom interval is a minor third, the top interval is a major third. And now we're going to do diminished triads where the bottom third is diminished and the top third is diminished. Diminished means to make something smaller. So that's how this is named. So you have three notes on top of each other, and the bottom minor third and the top minor third. So let's do one on the staff. Let's do C diminished. So you have C here, and a minor third from C is E flat, and a minor third from E flat is G flat. So we have C, E flat, and G flat. Notice how that relates to the C major triad. And this works with any major, any key, anywhere. So if we were to do C major triad, we'd have C, E, G. If we wanted to make that minor, we lower the E, and we have C minor. If we want to make that diminish, we lower the G as well. We lower the third and the fifth to make it diminished, and that gives us C flat diminished. Let's do this on the staff. So here we go with diminished triads on the staff. Let's start with the key of D major. D major has two sharps in it, and those sharps are F sharp and C sharp. Okay, so we draw